The San Francisco 49ers, a team we saw in the NFC Championship game, one game away from the Super Bowl. These are their notable free agents here, headlined by, I don't even know who headlines this notable free agent class for the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, Raheem Mostert. I mean, could you say it's Mostert? I don't know.
He's
Dylan,
supposed
who do
to,
you
but
think is who do you think is the biggest need for the San Francisco 49ers to bring back from this list?
I'd probably go with Kawhi Williams. I think that's where you look as the secondary for this team. You know, they are old at the cornerback position. I think they need to solidify that secondary if they want to continue to have success. You look at the wideouts in this division: DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. On the Seattle side, then you go over, you got Robert Woods coming back from injury. Cooper Kupp just had a great year. I think you need cornerback depth and depth in the secondary. And although Raheem Mostert, I don't think they should even look at him. I mean, Mostert's just he can't and he cannot stay on the field. There's a reason he was never anything big when it came to playing beyond his years, because that guy, I mean, every single time he sees the field, he goes down, unfortunately. But I think you got to go with Williams there and bring him back, or at least make a move that gets you another corner in that room.
Aaron, you're on mute. That's a minus to the Sack City Pod. First minus.
Raheem Mostert might be the most overhyped player I've ever heard about. Like, just seriously, the man is his best season. He ran for 700 yards. And I know he had a great playoffs, right? And I think that's where it starts. You have a great playoff run, but there's no reason to bring him back.
His nickname should be Flash, because that's all we ever get to see is flashes of him, and then he's done.
That's a good one. This guy's a jokester. Aaron, you were pretty notable on this show for your San Francisco 49ers takes, especially come playoff time. Who do you think they should be targeting in free agency this offseason?
Well, the theme doesn't change with me. I'm going to be consistent. It's offensive line, and it's strictly to replace their offensive lineman they're losing in Tomlinson, and I would go with Connor Williams. We're talking about Connor Williams, a guy in Dallas who got a lot of flack this year for the amount of penalties he got. He even got benched earlier this year by the coaches. But I think he brings a toughness, a physicality. You've seen the fights with him and Aaron Donald throughout the year in training camp. He's a guy that can be physical, and this 49ers offense is about a physical running style. They want to run the ball first and get downhill. Dylan talked about the secondary in San Francisco, and everybody always brings up the secondary, and they've had troubles in the secondary. It has never stopped that defense from being great. That defense was elite again this year, even with a suspect secondary. They were in the NFC title game, and we all said we didn't blame the secondary outside of a dropped interception for them losing. We were looking right at Jimmy Garoppolo. We were looking right at him making plays when it mattered, and he didn't. So I think that offensive side still needs to improve, and I think it starts on the offensive line.
How big is losing Mike McDaniels this offseason for the San Francisco 49ers, Dylan?
I still believe Shanahan's like the legit overseer of that offense. So I'm not gonna go crazy about it. But I mean, you mentioned there's just a lot that goes into that. I do think that Shanahan's the overseer, and we've seen it a couple times. Couple assistants under, Matt Nagy, one of them under Andy Reid, got a shot, didn't really affect their offense when Andy Reid left. I mean, there's a lot of certain teams that you just don't really need to worry about. And I think Shanahan's a good enough offensive coach that you don't need the offensive mind of Mike McDaniel in the room.
That's fair. That's right. I feel like that's the right answer. And normally I like to argue with Dylan. That's the right answer. That's it.
Shanahan's a brilliant offensive mind. He is. And we've talked about some of the things we felt like he could have done better, but I don't think Mike McDaniels makes a huge difference on that offense. They want to run the ball, and they want to run play action. And when the offensive line is blocking and they're running the ball well, they're really, really hard to beat. I don't think one season is going to change their offensive identity. I still think they're going to do the same things they've been trying to do.